Greetings, everyone. Welcome back to the Confused to Focus Talks with Lekeisha. I am Lekeisha Mosley. I am your host for today, and I'm so excited for us to have an amazing conversation. We're going to be talking about all things wellness, all things support in your body, and definitely a support in your business, family. This amazing topic today is going to be on setting boundaries now for a clearer focus. And I'm so excited to have this conversation. Definitely, when we're setting boundaries, we definitely need to appropriate it. In the year 2024, it is going to be your year, but you have to make sure you have things in place for you to really be abundant in your time in business, in your health, and family, and beyond. So let's get into it, family. We're going to have a lot of conversations, and we're going to break this down. You're going to definitely be clear when you leave us today. So I'm so excited. Family, don't forget to share, invite to somebody. And also don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel. And I'm looking forward for all of us to connect moving forward ahead. So listen, if you have questions, make sure you give them to me. I'm going to give you answers for them. Family, I'm looking forward for us to have this amazing conversation. Let's go. All right, family. I'm so excited that we are here today. We're going to have a great conversation on really setting clear boundaries for ourselves. One thing about setting boundaries, it really began to be abundant for me to begin to do this because of my experiences in the past. Let me tell you what's more of my story. I had to set boundaries, and I realized that when I didn't set boundaries, I began to really overload, and I really began to really have too much on my plate. I was big on doing a lot of things for other people and definitely meeting needs when it came to clients, when it came to partnerships. And when it came to that, I wanted to give to everyone. I wanted to do more for them and make sure that they achieve their goals. This is great. The only thing is I wasn't receiving what I needed to receive, to make sure that my health was actually in line, make sure that I was serving the clients appropriately. And it really wasn't doing those things because I was really people pleasing. I was doing everything for them and I wasn't receiving the results that I needed to. It needed to be a partnership. So with all that being said, I began to really be in a depressed state, being to create anxiety for myself and confusion and a lot of self-doubt. I began to really did not believe that I can do and build anything. Honestly, family, because I wasn't protecting myself and because I wasn't really focusing on my health began to decline. I began to create a lot of illnesses for myself. And honestly, I began to tell you before, I literally began to lose consciousness and pass out. Wow. That is not something we want, right? But at the same time, that happened to me. And I really don't want that to happen to you. And I want you to begin to build a successful life and moving forward ahead where you're serving your clients, where you're serving anything that you're connected with brilliance, but at the same time, having great self-care. So one thing about it, I have a few steps that definitely is going to be a benefit for you. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. So step one thing that I had began to talk about is boundaries when it comes to forgiveness. That's the big one, the big F, right? Just understanding how to forgive others and really to create a boundary on that. Now, to say that I want to forgive, it is a great thing that you want to do. However, you need to really appropriate boundaries to where that is going to be a benefit for yourself and anyone else that you're connected with, right? So one thing I had to bring in to set goals to really understand that, we had to have a conversation to really in place with the other person, if it was a person that I was connecting with, right? Now, if it was forgiving myself when I did something that I didn't achieve the mark that I wanted to achieve, I had to begin to really reset and really relax and understand what was going on. And I had to begin to really regroup on how I could really achieve whatever I was looking forward into at that moment, great and further. So when I had to do that for myself, but at the same time, when it came to others, I had to begin to understand that I had to have conversations with people and really let them know, listen, I really want to serve you and I really want to do things in great service mode when it came to a client or when it came to family. Began to say how this made me feel and began to say, this really was not what I really wanted. And I really felt like that, whatever behavior that you were exhibiting, it really wasn't something that was going to be a benefit for us. So I want to say, let's try again and let's begin to really have great conversations on effectively moving our relationship further. Like things like that is actually a great thing where you have a mindful conversations with one another, to make sure that you reach a balance. Just having the conversations versus not having conversations. That's one thing that I would tell each and every person. Begin to appropriate yourself and begin to really reach a dialogue that you both can win in. You don't want to leave things just unspoken. A lot of times that can create anxiety, that can create a lot of stress, and a lot of things that really is going to be a detriment to yourself, because it's really something that really is not really connecting the dots, and you're not really winning. You're really just going through the motions. So before I go to the next step, I have some amazing viewers that are here. Hey, King Wise, how are you? Thank you so much for being here. Definitely having this conversation is really great for us to all connect together. I appreciate you so much. So with that being said, let's go to the next point on setting boundaries, family. So setting boundaries when it comes to managing stress. Stress happens, family. Like when the stress is connected to you, it really creates anxiety, and it creates a lot. Definitely if you're doing work that you're doing in your business, when you're doing work with your family or whatever it is, but it's creating some type of disconnect, and it's really like a negative effect. And if it's not treated, or if it's not acknowledged, it's something that can really create a havoc in your health and in your family, or even create the people that are around you. You won't realize it, but it really is something that can be a problem for your heart. And it's something that, when it comes to heart health, when it comes to those different effects, it really can be a detriment to you. I would say that's something that really just need to be recognized. Definitely seek your physician when it comes to that, and definitely want to seek just whatever therapy possibly may be something that you may want to think about. Is something that you may want to apply for yourself. So definitely when you do those types of checks for yourself, self-check, those checks are actually going to be a blessing for you moving forward ahead. Cultivating a positive mindset. Honestly, cultivating a positive mindset, like doing something that is going to be well for yourself, like doing some type of meditations or some type of yoga platforms. That's a great way to also definitely doing great things for yourself. When you're doing things of retreats, maybe retreats or something, or do an event, maybe go to a comedy show. Those can really alleviate, believe it or not, stress, because a lot of times we can be overworked. We can be really just thinking about all those different attributes that we're doing, because those things need to do. We need to get it done. We need to grind. However, if we're not really doing some type of balance, if we're not taking into account that we might need to take a pause, I always call it a woosah moment. If we're not taking appropriate pauses, if we're not taking account of possibly having like appropriate scheduled me times. Maybe you need some 15 minutes of time to just really relax. Maybe go for a walk. Maybe go for a jog, and definitely maybe go sit down and just have a Coke, And when people say have a Coke and smile, technically that is a real thing. Just take a healthy beverage, or maybe go for some yogurt, maybe go for some ice cream, have some popcorn. I have friends that love popcorn. Definitely things like that puts joy in your life. But honestly, when you're happy and joyful, when you're in a place where you're feeling really great, honestly, it really brings stress down, and it really brings you in a place of loving state. And honestly, that's true self-care, family, and that's self-discipline for yourself. Honestly, I believe that is going to be great for you moving forward ahead. One thing that I would say, the next point, honestly, when you have boundaries when it comes to your work life, and definitely boundaries when it comes to, honestly, for yourself not to be burnt out, you have to take that into play. A strategy that is going to be a benefit, honestly, like I said, if you do some exercises and meditations, and honestly, if you spend some times with loved ones, if you connect with people and engage in a nice hobby, honestly, that will ease yourself on being burnt out, family. A lot of times we can get to that place when we're really not really taking account. of all the things that are on our plate, like let's just say projects, let's say in business, you have definitely strategies that you have in play that are great to do. However, your body, you have to realize that you do have a body that you live in. Then having a body that you live in, understanding that you have to live long, take account to understand and put things in place. Understand that you want to live a long life. So if you want to live a long life, definitely do a strategy with yourself. Definitely write down ways that you can actually begin to appropriate living a long life, like maybe taking a vacation. You may not could take a week vacation, but maybe you can take a 3-day vacation. Take some type of conference that's going to be just all about you, just being to sit down and do something that's going to be a benefit for yourself, to really reflect on great things. Honestly, that is really going to bring yourself into a place where you're not as stressed out, you're not burnt out, and you can recharge. A lot of times we have to remember that we do need to recharge for ourselves and our mindset and for ourselves moving forward ahead in order for us to continue to live a long life. If you want to live a long life, you want to live, a long, fruitful life, definitely taking time for yourself is really going to be great for you. You don't want to get burnt out. The next point I would say is boundaries with others. Definitely having boundaries with others. We need to live life with other people. It's not just us here, right? So definitely when you have a team, if you have projects, you have family, if you have a relationship, if you have just family, let's just say if you have family you're taking care of, if you're a caregiver, right? Those are others, those are other people. And definitely they're depending on you to really fulfill something, right? It's really something that you got to take account to make sure you have boundaries set in place to make sure that you are fulfilled and that you can continue to practice the great things that you want to practice with others. Because you don't want to, really be in a position where you're not happy with others. You really want to look at others as a great way, as a benefit of life moving forward ahead. So like I said, you want to have boundaries set in place and definitely have conversations with others that you're with and just say, hey, I really want us to really have a great relationship. So let's make a strategy as far as how we can appropriate life together. Let's just think about, the time frames that we are available with each other. Let's write those down. Let's just think about that and just really have a plan set in place. And honestly, just having time to do that is really going to be a benefit. Honestly, just taking time to communicate with another person, just to let them know that you really believe in them and you really want to continue to live great life with them. Whether it's just a phone call, whether it's just, a text message, or rather sending people like maybe a card in the mail or whatever, just communicating with them in that way is really a great way to really segue into really having long relationships with others where you appropriated things that more likely others will definitely feel the value and they will feel the love and they will appreciate each and every one of you, for taking an account to really making time for them. Definitely, that's where you're going to benefit just being in a relationship with other people, and you're not going to feel like you're overloaded. Because a lot of times, if we're taking account to make sure that we are taking account that other people are being valued, you're valuing yourself. You're valuing yourself and making sure that you have things that are put in place. Your emotions are great. Your physical health is great. And when you're having self-care of that nature and make sure to appropriate it in those particular ways, it's going to be a great benefit for you. I really believe that. So the next point of far as boundaries, having maintaining your mental and emotional health, when stressful situations. Stressful situations do happen. Let's just say, you have, a family member transition, or let's just say you have family members that are having an illness, or, someone who really needs your help on a project, and it gets stressful, definitely when you have a lot on your plate. A lot of things happen, things that you cannot change. It's just life. Life be life, and I call it. So it's so important for us to maintain and definitely have a strategy in place. I would say make sure you have limitations put in place. Know your limits. Know the things that you can do so you can maintain, the relationships that you have for people, so it's not so stressful for yourself. Having a strategy in place, having things put in place so you can definitely engage in, the activities that are placed in with other people in situations like that. Let's just say if you had to plan a funeral, let's just say you had to plan a retreat, let's just say you had to plan a family reunion. You don't want it to be stressful. So make sure you put a plan in place, make sure it's organized for yourself. So therefore you already are ready for it. When you are already have things in place and you have plans already in place, it's not overloading for yourself. So you already expect it, you already know this needs to happen, and you're not feeling like you're bombarded, and you're not feeling like you can't do a lot. Setting these boundaries in this particular situation is really going to be a great benefit for yourself, because that's why you have self-control. That way you have, a lot of, a way of making things happen, and with ease, because you already have it planned out, and it's not going to be as stressful. I can't say that it's not going to be a lot, because depending on what you have on your plate, but at the same time, if you expect it, to happen when you happen to connect with others and you appropriate yourself, it's going to bring your energy really higher, and it's going to put yourself in a place where you can continue to move forward. You can definitely reduce a lot of anxiety and helplessness when you actually have a plan, we have a strategy effectively, honestly. And I believe you're going to soar, and by you setting the boundaries in this area, it's going to be a benefit for yourself. So the next one is really setting boundaries when it comes to the digital detox that you have, dealing with technology, family. When it comes to technology, we have to begin to build and grow with technology. That is the new way of doing things. Things are really quick nowadays. You have to learn AI, you have to learn, to appropriate different platforms when it comes to technology. And sometimes that can be an overload for yourself when you think about it. Definitely, if you're new to it, it's something that you have to really strategically plan to understand how it can grow for yourself. One thing that I would say, to definitely make sure you put in place to disconnect, when it comes to being overloaded with technology, like disconnect it from yourself. Make sure you shut it off on your phones. Make sure you appropriate it from your life when it becomes an overload, and begin to set timelines. Like I would say, if you probably, go to rest or go to bed, at a certain time, maybe 10 o'clock at night, to make sure you have it notifications shut off on your phone, so you're not getting overloaded with the technologies. A lot of times, if it's not turned off, you're going to browse and keep going with it. So you definitely want to make sure that is mindful when it comes to technology, that the actual digital detox is really huge in effect, because we love technology, but we need to appropriate it and make sure there's boundaries set in place. Definitely, I will say, definitely having, encourage you to face-to-face interaction conversations when it comes to, before you linger on and depend on technology. A lot of times we forget about that. We are not really face-to-face with people, because really pretty much can connect with technology, and a lot of times we forget that we really do need to have self-care and to connect with others, and definitely have social skills, and make sure that social skills is really in the plan for yourself. Make sure to appropriate that, and make sure that you can definitely strategize a time where you connect out with nature. Go outside, definitely go out and connect with others. Like schedule a plan a few minutes, to really go out and really do a jog outside versus actually working out in the house. Definitely going to a movie, and definitely connecting with a friend you haven't seen in a while. Let's just go out and play, have a good time somewhere. And let's go to a great dinner, and let's appropriate that, because that's going to be a great opportunity for you to connect with others. And that's going to build your social skills. And that's going to really connect yourself in a new way for you to continue on moving forward ahead, family. I really believe that. So we have another amazing person that's on the Confused to Focus Talks with Lekeisha. We have Eric Harris here with us. Hey, how you doing, my brother? I appreciate you. You said it's so true. Face-to-face communication is good. I'm telling you, it is good. Honestly, we do, a lot of times we forget about that, because it is something where it's like we're faced with so many other things. And, we forget that walking and connecting with others, that is going to be a benefit as well. We need to incorporate that for us to be able to move forward ahead. So definitely do your detox when it comes to the digital and technology family. Make sure you balance yourself when it comes to that and utilize it appropriately, so you don't have an overload and you're not, losing, and you're not stressed out when it comes to that. So I really believe that for everyone. Also, definitely having boundaries on, when it comes to negative self-talk and self-criticism. A lot of times we do that a lot. Sometimes we don't think about that, we don't realize that, the words that we're saying. So just be mindful of the words that you're saying, making sure that you're saying great words to yourself, making sure that you are saying words that are going to be encouraging, like, I can do this, I can do great things, I can become anything that I wanted to become. Watch yourself when you say it and really just think about it. Just say, oh, wait a minute, that word was not a positive word. I can't. It's not that I can't. I don't want to say I can't. So you want to write that down and begin to, always say, listen, move that into something that's going to be a great benefit for yourself, and always be encouraged to say positive reinforcements and affirmations to yourself, always moving forward ahead. So mind you, practice self-awareness and mindfulness, and always continue to talk to yourself and make sure to be mindful to understand that you're creating a pattern. You want to create a positive pattern for yourself. And always in the morning, have a ritual, have a mantra. In the morning, I say in the morning, Lekeisha, you can do all things. You are great and powerfully made. Do great things. You are great. You are beautiful. You are magnificent. And keep saying that to myself. And I keep saying that to myself. As I keep saying that to myself, I'm actually saying positive things that's in myself. My mindset is shifting always, and all I can do is win. All I can do is be everything that I'm saying. I'm telling you, our words are powerful. So always understand, when our words are powerful, always be mindful of the words that you're saying, making sure that you're changing the words that are negative into positive words. Always know that. Always take self-accountability of yourself and just tell yourself, you know what? I'm going to change that. I'm going to change that word. That I can't is going to be an I can. That I limited, and no, I am absolutely abundant. Always do those things for yourself. I promise you, it's always going to be great for you. Yes, absolutely, King Eric. I appreciate you so much, my brother. So, one thing that I would say when it comes to understanding that our boundaries, when it comes to forgiveness, when it comes to self-doubt, when it comes to stress, when it comes to, limitational beliefs, when it comes to being appropriate, when it comes to understanding how, to begin and moving forward ahead. If we just take account to understand that we want to do something great and abundant for ourselves, if we know that we want to appropriate and be great with others, if we know that the self-talk needs to change, that's a great thing for yourself. As an identity and self-awareness coach, I always tell my clients that you can do great things, that you have to just be mindful of the words that you're saying. Honestly, take account, take personal responsibility. Always tell yourself that you can be anything. Always know that by you saying the great things about yourself, you're changing your perspective constantly. Always know that you can win. Always know there's no failures ever. Don't ever quit, because when we quit, we can never grow. When you quit, you can never change the lanes. And always know that there's lessons. There is no failures. You can create your own way of life, and you can build, and you can always do great things. Just always know that for yourself, and always know that you can achieve greatness, family. So I am so excited that we just had a great conversation on setting boundaries, family, so we can always appropriate to live life better. And I just really appreciate each and every one of you. I definitely would love for each and every one of you to connect with me always definitely on my Patreon channel exactly for any information that we have moving forward ahead. I'm always updating my Patreon family, and I'm always doing some great giveaways and great bonuses for my Patreons. We have great times always, and I want to connect with you. Definitely don't forget that connect with me on LekeishaMosley.com, and you'll figure out for all the amazing gifts and talents there that I have updated. My processes, my coaching programs, all of those amazing merch that I have as well that's going to be featured. And also don't forget this merch that I have right here. So Rockstar family, this is my newest creation, the newest t-shirts that I have, and definitely those are on my website as well, family. I would love to give you those t-shirts and at your sizes. Definitely make sure you email me for those particular sizes on my website. So I look forward to that, family. Don't forget to connect with me every Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, family, for another amazing conversation, another amazing guest that's going to be interviewed as well, and another amazing tips and tricks for us to continue to live life, family. I really appreciate each and every one of you. I thank God for you, and I'm so excited for each and every one of you. Now, you already know in all you do, lead with confidence, understanding, and love always. Don't forget to share, invite to somebody else, and let somebody else know that I'm here. I'm Lekeisha Mosley, and I appreciate each and every one of you, family. Be blessed always.